Today, television serves as our principal source of popular legal culture. Although only few people have ever entered a courtroom, millions have seen one on TV. Even the Supreme Court and the American Bar Association have acknowledged that television impacts the public's perception of the legal system. For the most part, these popular TV shows, such as CSI and Law and Order, misrepresent the forensics profession in some major way. A police captain from Wisconsin has said, "There's an impression that we take a bunch of evidence and throw it into a magic machine, and then it gets spit out and we solve the crime within an hour, if not next week. The whole process just takes so much more time than people have been conditioned to by TV." It seems that every department has its own lab, police force, medical examiner, and analyst to work together all the time, when in reality, an entire state can only have one lab sometimes, which is often understaffed and underfunded. Toxicology and other tests require many individuals and typically take 4 to 6 weeks to process, while DNA testing is backlogged and takes about 5 days on average. Another misconception is that murders are solved quickly, in less than an hour on television, but in reality, it can take months or even years to solve a case. The executive director of Sorensen Forensics, Timothy Cooperschmidt, has said, "Not all evidence can be submitted for DNA testing, that it is done based on priority, and DNA cannot be recovered from every item a perpetrator touches." And no, he also says, we don't go driving around in new Hummers and cruise the beaches in Miami. It seems as though the CSI team is the most important at the crime scene, when in reality, forensic scientists work mostly in the lab, and the CSI unit collects evidence in the field. Lab staff never go to crime scenes or have access to suspects, and they would not conduct interviews. The CSI effect is affecting courts across the U.S. because juries are expecting a show with hard evidence, and when they are not given what they want, they think the case isn't strong enough to convict. This creates unreasonable expectations on the part of jurors, making it more difficult for prosecutors to obtain convictions. Joshua Marquise, the director of the National District Attorneys Association, says, "We are hearing stories where people, jurors, will come back and say, 'There was no DNA test. I expected that, and without that, I am not convinced.'"